How to draw a cat face from scratch to kitten face in minutes. There are many ways to draw a cat face. This is a method for starting totally from scratch. After a while you probably won't need it, but it's a solid way to begin. Start with a square. Circles are usually my thing, but for a cat face a square works well. Divide it in half both ways and then again. Draw a V from the middle bottom quarter line, see diagram, up to and beyond the top line at the quarter point on both sides. This is the inside fold of the cat's ears. I tend to round off my cat's ears, so I take the outside line of the ears back down to the outside line of the square on both sides. Take a line across the bottom of the V to represent the top of the nose. Draw in circles or ovals for the eyes on the horizontal halfway line, with the vertical quarter lines coming down through the middle of them. See the diagram. Draw lines from the top of the ears down to the top line of the square. Make them slightly curved and they will be the outside lines of the ears. Draw a line down from the middle of the nose and then put an upside down and stretched out W on it for the mouth. Draw a slice of mushroom in profile, see the top edge of the diagram for the nose, and see the side of the diagram for the lines that make up the top of the eye, 3 straight lines in that formation. The rest of the eye is round underneath that eyelid you've drawn on it. In the diagram just above the cat's head there is an eye showing a V shape that's been drawn in for the pupil, and you can see a rectangle that's been drawn into the V on the left hand side of the pupil. Draw those into the eyes and fill in the pupil apart from the rectangle to give you eyes with light reflected in them. The 2 lines outside the square on the horizontal halfway line are drawn out to indicate the widest part of this cat's face. Flick in fur after first practicing your flicking on scrap paper. When you start the flick, you are deliberately placing the pencil or pen on the paper so it is heavier at the start. It is lighter at the end, that is thinner, because the pencil or pen is leaving the paper at the end. The fur at this stage is to give shape to the cat's face, so that we can ink it in and then erase the pencil. Start at where the ears join the head and make the cat face the shape you want, ending this first lot of fur at the level of the corners of Kitty's mouth. This is where I would ink it in, but it needn't be inked in until more details have been put in if you prefer. Kitty's been inked in, leaving out the lines that aren't wanted and inking in those that are. Where the ear folds, the inside line comes down onto the head and the pencil has been erased. Put in a curved line of fur for Kitty's chin. A few dots on the muzzle. Thicken the line above the eyes to make them come forward a bit. Flick in 3 eyebrow hairs and 3 whiskers on each side. It's better to put too few than too many. Flick in the ear hairs. Notice that there are more and longer hairs flicking into the ear from the inside ear fold and fewer on the outside edge. You now have your basic cat face, which you can use for any cat design you have in mind. These were a couple of practice runs, but I didn't like the double chin and I preferred the ears to be at less of an angle to Kitty's head, so I started again. I have messed about a bit more on mine with some pencil shading. I've just put shading where bits of cat stick out, so logically there would be shadow under them, like the eyelids, the nose and in the ears and a bit under the mouth. This cat face can be made to suit whatever you're planning, with your own cat's markings or coloured in to suit the rest of your design. A cat face such as this really needs to be under a Santa hat for a festive picture. So there really needs to be a video on how to draw and paint a Santa hat. That's on its way.